Dear students, good morning to everyone. I am going to be discuss on a new topic, component of an SRS from the unit 2. What are the components that must be specified in the SRS that are to be addressed here? There are the four components that must be specified in the SRS. That are functionality, performance, design constraint and external interface. Then the SRS will be complete. It lead to improve the quality of an SRS. The SRS software requirement specifications. The requirement of the software that ought to be clearly recorded or specified. Therefore, it must be high quality. Then the user may be satisfied with the system. It is the first phase to develop a system. If it is in good quality, the system also be in good quality. If it is in poor quality, the system also be in poor quality. Therefore, the requirements of a system that must be high quality and it have to specify all the elements that are help to lead the high quality of an SRS. We will be discussed one by one the functionality, which means functional requirements of the software. Here all the operations based on the input data. So in the abnormal situations like an invalid input, the system what should do that are to be clearly specified in the SRS. Sometimes unexpected errors may be occur. For example, invalid input or unexpected errors occur. If the airplane ticket is fully booked, there is no way to be booked a valid passenger, right? I am not be talking about invalid passenger. There is no way to be booked a ticket for a valid passenger. This is an unexpected situations. When that situations, the system what should do that are to be clearly specified in the SRS. Based on this SRS, the system is developed, right? If it is clearly in the abnormal situations or invalid input or unexpected errors, the system what should do, what decision should be taken by the system for these situations, then the developer can be build the system same way, right? So these are must be clearly stated in the SRS documents. In the second point, which says specify all the functionality of the system should be support. Sometimes in the logical operations, when that situation the system may be take more times, or it may be display the wrong output. So in the logical operations, in the logical related or logical relevant operations, when that situation say what should do the system, that or be specified clearly in the SRS. Output for the given inputs and the relational between them. All the operations of the system is to do must specify the behavior for invalid input. So all the unexpected errors, how to handle the system when that situation that are clearly stated in the SRS. Based on this SRS, the system will be built. If it is a, here we write a poor quality SRS, we will be receive a poor quality system. Right? The second point, we go to the second point, which is performance requirement. Earlier I said that some properties of an SRS that must be done during the writing of an SRS document. So one of these is performance requirement. These performance requirements can be classified into static and dynamic. What is a static? Static, the system must support numbers of terminals or numbers of files that it process. So it also called capacity of the system. Right? Numbers of terminals or numbers of files may be processed by the system. This measurement is known as an capacity of the system. Similarly, in the dynamic performance, the numbers of the operations that it performed in a unit amount of time is known as dynamic. The job, the task is to be completed in the given amount of time. So this is an performance. How faster it is. So that ought to be considered in this dynamic performance. So there are the two types of performance, static and dynamic. Statics, which is how many terminals, how many files that are to be supported simultaneously, and in the dynamic, how many operations, how many tasks, how many process that are to be performed in a given amount of time, that is how faster it is. So that are to be considered in this dynamic performance requirements. We go to the next point. Design constraint. These design constraints may have 4 categories: standard compliance, standard compliance, hardware limitations, reliability, and security. However, some changes may be made by the unauthorized that not be accepted by the system. Therefore, the changes must be made in the master files only. The system must be accept. Right? The authorized person's changes. So we provide the restrictions. The analyst, the developer provide the restrictions that the system is not to be accept unauthorized changes, it accepts the authorized changes. So that ought to be referred in this standard complaints. It is specify any change must be made in the master files only. The second one, hardware limitations. The systems may be interfaced with other system when the other system may be access the memory. It can be access the primary and secondary memory. The limitations of the access that are to be specified in the SRS. The hardware limitations is to be specified, including primary and secondary storage limits. Right? You go to the next one, reliability, which is a systems may be delete some data by the authorized persons. So recovery should be do. It's supposed to recovery. If it is not support, if the data may be missed, or if the data is deleted by the unauthorized or authorized persons, it will not be get back. Therefore, the system should be support to recovery of the data. The last one, security. So it is a restrictions to access the documents of or the system documents or system only to the authorized persons. It includes numbers of the techniques, including password cryptography techniques that are used to access the system, that are to be defined by the user, the security restrictions. So these are all become under in the design constraint. Next we go to the next property of the SRS, external interface. All the interactions of the software with people, hardware and software is clearly specified. All the interactions of the software and the user interface and the limitations that are to be clearly specified, including memory restrictions, hardware restrictions that are to be clearly specified. User interface most important, so that the user or interface with the systems that are to be considered in this during the SRS development. System may be interfaced with other system, therefore the message content and format of each interface should be specified. So there may be different the format of the message from system to system. So the system, the format of the message that are to be specified, the user wants, the user liked format, okay, user demand format that are to be specified. The last point, if the software execute on the existing hardware, then the predetermined memory hardware should be specified. Right? If the software interact with other software or other system, or a system may be interact with the other system, the unauthorized persons or authorized persons may be access the the memory, the hardware, the software or any other properties of the system. Therefore, it should be restricted to other software, to other authorized or unauthorized persons. So it predetermined the limitations to access the memory or hardware. It should be clearly specified in the SRS. Based on this SRS, the system may be developed. The next point, specification language. Specified language. So here language is specified for the SRS document. So this 2 points we have to be include that, okay, specification language and the structure of SRS. These are very important that are to be included in this properties of SRS. The language specified for the SRS document, it helps to understandability, unambiguous and modifiability. Therefore, the user should use the natural language. Some advantages are there. The user and the developer can easily understand the elements, the functioning of the system, and they can be avoid the unambiguous, right, which is an multiple meaning words can be avoided easily. And modifiability, we can be, whenever they want change, if they can be modify the software. So these are the SRS documents that must be write in the natural language. That language can be understood by the user and developer. Generally, it is an English language. It is the system and the documents are written in the English language. Both of them must be understand the elements, the functionality of the system. The third one, the second point, natural language are help to both client and supplier understand the language. So that language we have to be choose. The developer, the analyst has to be choose that language. The developer, the user can be easily understand a language. Natural language mostly used with some structure for the document have been built during the problem of analysis. The last one, natural language used to clarify the requirement. Some maybe doubts may be arising to user. The user can be asked about that elements, about that requirements, right? So that doubts may be clarified in the same language, and the user can be interact with the system easily. However, he know that language, therefore he can be easily interact with this with the system. The last one is structure of an SRS. Every system have some structures, so therefore the SRS should follow the structures because of some advantages of there in the structure of the documents. The documents must be, the advantages of the structure, the documents is include everything is easily, simple and clear manner. So the first advantage, if the analyst used some structure, for example a book structure, if it is used a book structure, okay, so the chapter 1 and it includes subtopics and it is clearly defined in the at last of this book the bibliography. So these are all the index, so that are all be very helpful to understand the reader. Therefore there are some advantages of there in the structure. It include every requirements easily, so he can be easily understand where it forget where he have to be include some requirements, so the requirements can be easily understand in the you can be look on the structures. So here the first one is an introduction, in the introductions the purpose, the objectives, the scope that are to be, and the overview, so that are can be highlighted, that are can be stated easily, right? So the SRS document should follow the structure. Okay, the second point which will make easy to for other understand documents, which will make easy for others to understand the documents. So any the it will be, it make easy for the reader. The third point which it help to ensure that the analyst does not forget some major properties, right? So it is it help, the structures may be help to the analyst does not forget some major properties that he wants to include in the system. The last one which says the general structure of an SRS is given in the following. The structure of an SRS are given in the following. So here in the, this is an general structure for an for SRS. It is first the SRS which have to be introductions. In this introductions the analyst must write the purpose of the system, the and the objective of the system, the scope of the system, right? and the overview of the systems that are to be clearly stated in this introduction phase. And the second, which is an overall descriptions, the detail of the systems, the product perspective and the product functionings and user characteristics, constraints, designs, assumptions that are to be come under this structure. So overall descriptions can be defined clearly. Suppose if it may help to the user may not be forget the some major properties, and the user can be remember when he reading, when he are rewrite when he are rereading these documents, right, when he is or verifying this documents, right. In the third one, specifications, specific requirements, external interfaces, functional requirements, performance requirements and design constraints. So this help to us and in the specific requirements, right. The user may, it can be remember the user, so what he or forget to include, right, what he have to be included in that phase. So therefore it include as an external interface, functional requirement, performance requirement, design constraints. So if he maybe forget the what specific languages, am right, specification languages he may be forget, he can be included in that phase, right. Acceptable criteria, desirable to specify, this is this up front. So these are all the structures which help to the developer, the analyst, to make a system, to write the SRS document easily. So there are the some advantages are there, that are the first advantage of the structures of the documents, it include everything, every requirement easily can be the user, the analyst can be include the requirements easily, and it may be simple and clear manners. The second point, the structures of the documents which help to easy for other to understand the document. The third one, it will help to the analyst does not forget the major properties of the system. So this is the structure of an structures of an SRS, right. In this sessions we discussed the component of an SRS, which is the properties of an SRS which help to improve the quality of an SRS. So these are maybe 6 categories: functionality, performance, design constraints, external interface and specific languages, specification languages and structure, specification languages and structure of an SRS. With this topic I would like to be conclude these sessions. We will be meet in the next sessions with a new topic. Thank you very much.